Hello everyone, and welcome to Denver, Colorado's Global Health Explorers International Series, brought to you by Global Health Connections. I'm Zach, your instructor for today's lesson, and today we'll be learning about water. We're excited to be sharing this lesson with you, and greetings to local schools and other schools throughout the globe. As you view this lesson, keep in mind that other students your age have also been participating from various countries throughout the world. Later, you'll be able to share experiences and ask questions to them on our Global Health Connections website. But let's get down to the lesson. Did you know that the average American uses 15 to 30 gallons, or 60 or more liters of water each time he or she takes a shower? Did you know these daily amounts of water use can vary greatly from country to country? Today we're going to explore water use in the different places of the globe, and we'll find out how much water do you use. Let's look at a roadmap for today's lesson. First, we're going to look at water access, and we're going to see how some people in the world have trouble getting to and using clean water. We'll explore the huge area of Kibera, Kenya, a place where this trouble is certainly prevalent in the community. We'll take a look at how the families living in Kibera have to use the water in dealing with that scarcity. Then, we'll put you in the driver's seat with a fun group water activity. Finally, we'll talk about what we've learned. Ready? Let's go. The World Health Organization, or the WHO, is a group of people who gather information about the world's health issues. Did you know they have recently reported a significant portion of people on our planet aren't getting enough clean water they need to maintain a healthy life? Let's look at some more water access facts. Proper sanitation is important too. That means water access for washing your clothes, going to the bathroom, and washing your hands, and using water to brush your teeth. More than 2 billion people lack the proper resources to do these things, and many people can get sick and die from unsafe practices of poor water sanitation. We'll talk about this later. So how are you doing? This is a lot of surprising information. Can you think of any areas in your neighborhood where water access is a challenge? Maybe it's happening in your very own city. Right now, let's explore a place where millions of people struggle with clean water access and sanitation, Kibera, Africa. So the situation here in Kibera is tough. Kibera is a very poor neighborhood in the city of Nairobi, the capital of Kenya. It has a high flooding risk, and a lot of the buildings are erected on refuse and rubbish. They're built on trash. There's a lot of instability when it rains, and a lot of these buildings will crumble down. And more importantly, or most importantly, it has difficult water access and poor sanitation. So as you think about getting water in Kibera, realize that no home has running water. There are open sewers that run through the streets and homes, and water is brought home in buckets from water faucets from far away. And water has to be carried, and waiting for access can be hours long. And the water in the bucket is usually pretty dirty, and there are no flush toilets. From the rain, dirt floors can get muddy and wet and contribute to the sanitation problem in people's homes. There is no running water and few public wells and bathrooms, and with little or no flush toilets, open sewage is found in the streets and alleyways right where people cook. They hang laundry there, they dry their laundry there, and it's also where children and pets play. Now that we've looked at Kibera, let's take a moment and reflect on what your neighborhood and your own community is like. Take a moment, pause this presentation, and reflect with your teacher about your local water use. So what do you do with water every day? How many times a day do you think you use water in some form or another? Well, with 2.4 billion people without clean water access, think of what goes into getting clean water to your neighborhood. Also, use these questions to get your discussion started. How much water do you think you use for bathing, drinking, washing, preparing food? As we've seen in Kibera, there are places in this world where water scarcity is a huge issue. In other parts of the world, there is so much water available that overconsumption and waste has become a problem. For example, in the United States, a person uses up to 200 to 300 liters, or 50 gallons a day, for bathing, cleaning, cooking, and going to the bathroom. In industry, 5,000 liters, or 1,300 gallons, can be used. This is often for hydroelectric power, water treatment and recycling plants, and through the use of the sewage system. Let's compare that excess with scarcity in Kibera. Also be thinking, where does your own country or community fit in? In Kibera, the average water consumption per day for a family is less than 10 liters or 2 gallons. Imagine if all the water you could use in a day had to come from a bucket of water you, your mother, or your sister had to carry home. Before we get to our activity, let's take a moment to follow an African girl on her way to get water for her family in the morning. In 2005, American rap star Jay-Z traveled to Africa to experience the water crisis firsthand. Let's see what they were up to that day.
It's the most basic element on the planet. It gives life to everything, and it's seemingly plentiful. But more than 1 billion people can't get clean water for drinking, cooking, and bathing. 2.6 billion people don't have access to adequate sanitation. And 2 million children die every year from diseases caused by contaminated water. It's a silent crisis that's holding back human progress.
You gotta move this car or they're gonna shake it over.
You got a lot of fans here.
Luanda is a place where access to clean water is a real problem for tens of thousands of people. I had a day off from my tour and it was a chance to see things firsthand.
This place we're going to is called Rangel.
I'm not an expert on this thing. I got my homeboy, Abranava, Ghosh, walking me through the whole thing.
It's a mixed neighborhood. You've got some solid houses, and then there are a lot of shanties.
It's my first experience with seeing people that don't have access to clean water.
First thing they'll say, "Yeah, give us water." That's the first thing that you need, you know, when you're starting your day. Forget everything else.
That's right.
I mean, you can live without food for a while. You can't live without water.
Right.
I wanted to go through the towns and I wanted to touch people and I wanted to learn and ask about the culture. Hey, how you doing? Bon diva. I met a young lady named Bella. She took me to her home.
Bella lives with 5 other family members in a 1.5-room shack. There's no running water in it. This is just a microcosm of what's happening throughout the world.
Show me around.
This is the bedroom. And the bed, they sleep 3 people on the floor, 3 people.
3 people on the bed and 3 on the floor?
Yeah.
6 people that live in this place. It has to be no bigger than the size of a jail cell. There's no shower, there's no sinks, there's no toilets.
Where do you use the bathroom?
Quando quisermos tomar banho, às vezes também pedimos na vizinha.
They ask the neighbor to use the toilet.
You have to think about the shame in having to go knock on your neighbor's door just to simply use the bathroom.
And sometimes when it's to bath and there's nobody home, they bath just here in the yard.
I want to show you something, Jay. Come. This is the courtyard of the house. They'll fill a bucket like this
right there?
and just stay here, right out in the open. I mean, it's not just lack of water, sanitation. Right. It's a loss of dignity. Right. It's a basic human right.
Right. Yeah. That's incredible. He actually explained her typical day.